All right, so I am not a singer, so bear with me on this one. Walks by me every day. Her and love are the same. The woman that's stolen my heart, and beauty is her name. I hope that I can make you mine, for another man steals your heart. And once your beauty is mine, I swear we will never be apart. Does anybody recognize that song? Anyone? Shout it out if you know it.
Beauty.
Here it is. Yes. Don't doubt yourself. You know what it is. Yes. It is Beauty by Dru Hill.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's okay if you don't know it. It's old school. I'm old school. I'm a product of the 90s. I'm a product of growing up in Philly in the 90s. I'm a product of growing up in Philly in the 90s as a black girl, which means that R&B is in my blood. Every day, sultry voices would harmonize through the speakers of my boombox. And R&B reached its apex in the 90s. It did. We had groups like New Edition, Next, Silk, Shy, Soul for Real, High Five, Jodeci, Boyz II Men, and Dru Hill, which was the best group out of the 90s because they combined the raw sexuality of Jodeci with the romantic lovemaking of Boyz II Men. I couldn't wait to grow up and be a part of this bump and grind, candy rain, end of the road world. I wanted to be Beauty. But who is Beauty, right? How does she act? What does she look like? Well, what better place to look for the answers to my questions than the visual representations of the song that I loved? Their music videos. We all know what happens next, right? Yeah. The little girl looks to emulate an impossible beauty standard set up by the media. I fell into that trap as well. I realized that my butt was too small for black men, my thighs were too thick for white men, and my skin was too dark for all men. Although I have been told that I'm cute for a dark-skinned girl. And while all of these things affected me as a child, and some still do till this day, the thing that I focused on the most was hair. Hair was the one unifying feature of all the beauties, and not just any hair. Thick, long, bouncing hair. I've always had what's considered bad hair, Negro naps. Good hair is long, it's thick, it has a loose curl that bounces as you walk. Don't let the faux locks fool you. My hair is short, and it's coarse, and at the time it was usually in cornrows, but that was okay, because my saving grace would come in middle school. Because in middle school, I would be old enough to get a perm. It's a rite of passage for a young black girl in America. So for my Caucasian and non-black POCs who are a little bit confused, in the black community, what we call a perm actually straightens your hair. And perm was gonna make me a beauty. It was gonna straighten and swing, and all of my crushes were gonna come on bending knee to freak me. I would not let them. But it'd be nice to be asked, right? But to my surprise, perm didn't make me a beauty. My hair was still short, and it didn't swing. The only movement it had was when I sort of moved it myself and then just kind of stayed there. But it's okay, because that would all change when I got to high school, because in high school, I would be able to get a weave. Because with a weave, my hair could be any length that I want it to be, right? It would swing finally, and I could add color. Oh, and let's be real. Once I got into the workforce, it was practically a requirement, right? You didn't apply for a college or an internship or a job without it. And I loved my weave. Oh my gosh, I loved my weave. Listen, when my confidence failed me in all other areas, I knew my hair was on point. Weave carried me. Weave, not just weave. Weave, wigs, and extensions carried me through high school, college, the lost years after college, and then here to LA. And throughout the years, my real hair became less and less healthy. It was dry, it was brittle, it would break off at the scalp. Due to my neglect, my real hair withered away to nothing. But it was nothing. Tenderonis, a late 80s reference for a beauty, didn't have hair like mine. So if I wanted to be a beauty, I had to present as such. I don't remember the exact moment I realized that I feared wearing my natural hair in front of other people. I know I didn't do it. I know whenever I dated, this was a big step in the relationship. I like to say that I had this big come to Jesus moment where I realized that my disdain for my natural hair was just a symptom of the collective slave mentality that us African Americans are trying to eradicate. That since slavery, black people have been told that our hair is inferior, that we've internalized this and now began to judge ourselves based on this Western beauty standard. That because we are a creative people, we took what we now considered an inherent flaw and turned it into art. I'd like to say this, but what it really comes down to is I was broke. Broke. Weave is expensive, y'all. And live in LA, it's no joke. No joke. I mean, I found a stylist who gave me a discount on the price, but I still can only come in once every few months. And what was I to do? You know, I had to go out. I had to live my life. I don't remember the exact moment I realized that I feared wearing my natural hair in front of other people. But I did. And that pissed me off. Why couldn't I walk around the world the way God made me? Everyone else did. Why couldn't a beauty be nappy? So one day, when I didn't have any place particular to go, I walked outside of my apartment and I exposed myself to the world. And I hated it. To be fair, the world does move around you naturally when you wear your hair natural. In my experience, you become slightly invisible. It's strange to feel vulnerable and unseen at the same time. But I kept doing it. I kept walking out of my apartment because I was so indignant and so broke. You know, learning how to care for your natural hair is a journey in itself, especially because the majority of tips that were passed down from generation to generation focus on how to manipulate your hair, how to make it passable, not how to care for your hair or learn to love its unique qualities. Luckily, my journey began during the second coming of Afro Pride. Yes. Every other day, a new black Hollywood starlet discusses doing the big chop. That's when you cut off your perm and allow your natural hair to grow. If you see a black woman in a commercial, 9 out of 10, her hair is curly. I didn't say natural, but curly is a start. And it's okay that our ancestors failed us in this arena. We now learn from YouTube gurus who claim to hold the secrets to defining your natural curl pattern and stopping breakage. But every movement has its flaws, right? There's a definite hierarchy in the natural world. And once again, my hair falls to the bottom of the totem pole. Yeah, even without creamy crack, a euphemism for perm. My hair does not like to grow. And did y'all know there are levels to nappy? Yeah, there are levels to this thing. My hair is 4C, aka the nappiest. So every day that I walk out of my door, short curls in tow, I do so knowing that I'm still not the ideal beauty. But I walk through that door anyway. I still love R&B. It's in my blood. And deep down, I still want to be a beauty. But I want to be a beauty on my terms. You know, I want to be a beauty with short hair, a flat ass, and chocolate skin. I want to be able to indulge in weave and faux locks one day and then rock my afro the next with my confidence never faltering. And some days I can. Some days I feel like the baddest around the way girl out there. Other days I don't. Music and music videos have changed since I was a kid. But I'm old school. I'm a product of the 90s. I'm still working on it. Thank you.